Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us from New York City is Penelope Welsh with Blockgraph. Penelope, thank you so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you for having me, Charlene.
So talk to us about what you're doing over there at Blockgraph.
Absolutely. Blockgraph is a technology company that enables privacy-focused, data-driven TV advertising. And we're actually a joint venture owned by Charter Communications, Comcast NBC Universal, and Paramount. And we offer a peer-to-peer platform that enables our participants to quickly and securely leverage their data for TV use cases. And they actually get to manage their data permissions themselves. So we call this protecting and connecting of deterministic identity data, block graphing your data. And your data can then be used for audience-based TV targeting, measurement, and attribution.
Now, so much when we think about privacy, data privacy, we're thinking about the end user, with all of these changes with the cookieless world and all that stuff. Break it down a little bit, how that does impact maybe the marketer side of it and how it impacts the consumer side of it.
Oh gosh, absolutely. So it is so important for advertisers and brands to be really thoughtful about how they are gathering and using their first-party data. They need to be building really trusting relationships with their customers so that they can be then using that data to serve those customers even better. And in addition to that, they need to be investing in the right technology to be able to protect that data and maintain that trusting relationship with their customers.
And so draw me a picture of what this looks like, because this relates to our television consumption. So are we referring to when I'm sitting there and it asks me what ad I want to watch and is asking me to interact with that particular ad?
So we're not that part of the chain. What we are doing is secure data connectivity. So we are software that enables companies in the TV space to do data collaboration in a secure way. So this means that maybe an advertiser would be a participant in Blockgraph, and they can then use their first-party data for targeting ads that maybe they're purchasing from a cable provider, and their data can inform that ad delivery.
Gotcha. So you're kind of the air traffic controller of where that information should go and making sure that that information stays private and proprietary to that particular advertiser.
Absolutely. Our platform has all participants able to set their own permissions. And because the platform is deterministic, it's really fast because the participants are working directly with each other.
Very cool. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about the landscape of where you see this going, because I brought up a cookieless world and privacy issues and all that kind of stuff. So where do you see this in the next year to 2 years, its growth, development, and its impact?
Absolutely. So we already talked about how it's going to be more and more important to be careful with your customer data, and the privacy regulations around that are only going to grow. So you're going to need to stay on top of that and invest in the right tools to manage that data. But the exciting part is what those tools are going to enable going forward. So right now with Blockgraph, in addition to doing that protected, secure data connectivity to enable TV targeting, we're also able to enable accurate measurement on the back end in a way that was not possible before. So now we can enable our participants to tie together ad exposure data, so who saw an ad, with the conversion data. So when somebody saw that ad on TV, did they go into your store? Did they make a purchase? Did they go visit your website to show more interest in your product? That data can now be tied together in a privacy-safe way.
So it sounds like everybody is so afraid that, okay, so 90-something% of people said they don't want tracking anymore. But it really sounds like if you know that I watched that ad and then I went in the store, you really are tracking my movement. So I think everybody's been so afraid that we're not going to be able to have that, I keep saying tracking, but watching what our consumer is doing. And to your point, to get them to convert, it sounds like your software is enabling them to do that.
So what it's enabling is data connectivity for 2 first-party data sets. So all of the data coming through the software is consented because it is each participant's own data. So if somebody has said, hey, I don't want to be tracked, they're not being tracked. That is what each participant within Blockgraph is managing, so that all the data that's coming into Blockgraph is consented first-party data.
And keep you out of trouble. All right, before we wrap up, I always like to ask our guests, what's the best tip that you can give maybe a company that's considering utilizing this software? What's the best tip you can give them about how to maybe take that first step?
Absolutely. So I think broadly, my best advice is always be trying new things, because there are always new technologies out there that can help you better serve your customers. So we would love it if you would come and check out Blockgraph.
All right. Well, that's a way to close it out. Penelope, great job. Thanks for landing the plane like that.
Thank you for having me today, Shirley. This has been fun.
Oh, it was a pleasure. And if you'd like to learn more about Blockgraph, and this is the data capture privacy of the future, folks, you certainly want to check them out. You can go to dailyadbrief.com, of course. Well, I'm your host, Charlene Shirk. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.